Science can be one of the most challenging subjects to teach as a homeschool parent. Am I right? We know how important it is that our kids are getting a chance to do hands-on science projects, but we don't have science labs in our homes. A lot of those materials can be really expensive, and it can be hard just even finding a good homeschool science curriculum. So today I'm really excited to share with you my review of Supercharged Science. This is a complete online homeschool science program with hands-on science labs that use materials that are easy to find if you don't already have them at home. I'm going to walk you through the whole program and show you everything that Supercharged Science has to offer, including live classes. So let's get started. So one thing you might be wondering about is, what kind of curriculum is this? And the best way that I can describe it is that it's a hands-on, at-home science curriculum that is taught with video lessons that you access online. And if you've watched my channel before, you know that those tend to be some of my favorite types of programs for homeschooling, because you don't have to do all of the lesson planning and teaching, but it's also not just your child sitting in front of a screen the whole time. So it's more like being taught by a tutor or a real teacher, except that you have the flexibility to do the lessons whenever you want to. And the courses were created by real scientists and educators, so you can trust that they know how to teach science. I know that's something that a lot of homeschooling parents don't always feel comfortable teaching. I am definitely one of those parents. Science was not my best subject. For kids in kindergarten through 8th grade, you can use this as your entire homeschool science curriculum. You don't need anything else to supplement with except maybe a reference book, which you can get at your local library. And of course, you'll need the materials to do the labs, but many of those items will be things that you already have around the house. For high school, they offer a complete chemistry and physics curriculum. And these are very thorough science programs that even include the math that you'll need to complete the course, because it just makes sense to teach science and math together for these courses. They also have overview courses in astronomy, biology, electronics, and energy. You can enroll in this program and get access to all of the courses for kindergarten through 8th grade for $47 a month, or $373 if you pay for the year up front. For high school, the cost is $67 a month, or $563 for the year. One membership covers your whole family, so if you have a student in high school and another student in middle school or elementary school, if you purchase the high school program, it will include access to the younger grades. If you want a chance to check out what the program is like before you sign up, you can get a free homeschool science guide with 5 complete science lessons included. I've left that link for you in the video description below. So once you sign up, here is what the main dashboard will look like. You can do this program either by topic or grade level, but we'll start by looking at the grade levels. We can just pick any grade level over here, and it will show you everything that you should teach for that grade. So for example, for 5th grade, the topics are chemistry, life science, earth science, and astronomy. So you can choose what order you want to go in and start with any of these topics. Let's take a look at chemistry, since this is one of the science courses where homeschool parents often worry about having the right materials in their home to do the labs. Here we have some information about the course and the scientific concepts that will be taught. And we can see what your child should have learned by the end of the unit. You can download the shopping list here, but I want to point out that you don't need to go buy all of this stuff. There are a lot of labs in this program, and you aren't meant to try to do them all. You can pick and choose based on what interests your child and what supplies you have on hand. So this is just a list of the supplies for the entire course. And on this list, all of the items in blue can be found on homeschoolsciencetools.com. This learning evaluation here is actually an assessment that you can have your child do at the end of the unit. It includes a quiz and a lab practical, which is something they do at the college level. And I think it's great that they include this in the program to get kids used to this kind of assessment. Down below are all the labs. And you can pick and choose and do these in any order, although for some courses, the first few lessons are meant to be done first and are a bit longer than the rest. So you can do those first, but then you just pick the experiments that you want to do based on what interests your child and what supplies you have. For instance, we could do this one called Cool Milk Trick with just whole milk, liquid soap, food dye, and a bowl. So you would read this description up here, then watch the video which will show you how to do the experiment. Then do the experiment yourself. There's also a student worksheet to go along with it that you can print off here. All the lessons for kindergarten through 8th grade are pretty much like that, with all sorts of cool experiments designed to teach the various science concepts. Let's look at another one. How about 4th grade? Here we have units on energy, electricity, magnetism, life science, and earth science. And the setup is the same. Choose a topic such as energy and you'll get a course overview, shopping list, and end of unit assessment. And then you can scroll down and choose from any of these lessons. Here's one on using the sun for cooking that uses supplies you probably have at home or can easily obtain. So that's how the courses work. But if you don't want to go by grade level, you can also just view all of the topics that are covered here on Supercharged Science. And if you're new to the program, you might want to start with these units up top. They can help you get a better understanding of how to use the program and how to teach science in your homeschool. Then you can pick any topic at all. Let's say your child is really interested in wanting to learn about rocks and minerals. You can pick earth science and then go to module 2, which is all about geology. And then you'll have all the geology lessons here to choose from. Now let's take a look at the high school curriculum. To get there, you would just choose high school, and then you'll see all the science courses available for high school students. And as I said before, the physics and chemistry courses are complete courses, and the rest are overview courses. And remember, all the math that students need to be able to complete the course will be taught in the course, which is so cool. So let's look at physics. This course is laid out a bit differently than the kindergarten through 8th grade courses, and is designed to be done in order. So you would just go through these lessons one at a time and do the labs for as many of the lessons as you have the time and equipment for. You're definitely not meant to do each and every lab, but you do want to make sure you do the lessons in order, whether or not you do the associated lab experiment. At the end of the course, there are various test prep resources that you can take advantage of. So that's what the courses on Supercharged Science are like. As you can see, they are very thorough and include a lot of hands-on activities, which is so important for science. And one thing a lot of homeschool students will say that they miss as they get older is that they do less hands-on activities. So I think especially for middle school and high school kids, this is a great homeschool science program because it has so many hands-on activities to help kids learn about science, but also keep them interested and engaged. Hopefully now you have a good idea of what the Supercharged Science online homeschool science curriculum is like. But there are a few more things that I want to share with you. First is that although this can be used as a standalone science curriculum for kindergarten through 8th grade, as well as high school chemistry and physics, you can also use this alongside your current homeschool science curriculum. You can download conversion charts for all of these popular homeschool science curriculums, such as Apologia, Classical Conversations, K-12, AOP, and more. So just click on one of these and you can see where the grade levels in your curriculum match up to the units on the eScience program. I also want you to know that you are not alone teaching science with this program. Whenever students or parents have questions, they can either leave a comment within the science lesson or send an email to get an answer. If you're looking for some live science classes, you can check out their optional live class schedule for the upcoming school year. There are physics classes, classes on electricity and robotics, and more. And what's really cool is that the classes usually include a virtual field trip where students will participate over Zoom and be able to interact with real-life scientists and ask questions. Past field trips have included talking to real-life marine biologists on a research ship in the Pacific Ocean, an astronomy presentation by a member of the team that won a Nobel Prize, and learning about aviation and airplanes from the captain of a Boeing 787 and an Air Force jet pilot. These classes are an optional add-on, but if your child is really interested in science, they're a must. I also want to mention that if your student is preparing for a science fair, they do have a section of their website with lots of helpful information on how to do a great science fair project. and even step-by-step videos for how to create a project for several different science experiments. If you have a student who may be interested in pursuing science as a career after they graduate, you might also check out their Careers in Science page, which talks about all sorts of interesting careers in the science field. So hopefully I've covered everything that you wanted to know about the online homeschool science program from Supercharged Science. I think this is a really great homeschool science curriculum that can give kids all of that hands-on practice that they crave. So I definitely recommend this program for your homeschool. If you have any questions about the program or just a general homeschooling question, let me know in the comments and I will be happy to answer. Thank you so much for watching.